Go Ford for your next truck or SUV and find an easier way to buy with Woodhouse Ford today and experience the convenience of buying with Woodhouse Ford. Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT plus 3.9% APR for 60 months with approved credit. $299 doc fee due at signing. Security deposit waived. Expires 1/02/2024.
The holidays start here at Baker's with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. You could do a classic herb-roasted turkey or spice it up and make turkey tacos. Serve up a go-to shrimp cocktail or use Simple Truth wild-caught shrimp for your first Cajun risotto. Make creamy mac and cheese or a spinach artichoke fondue from our selection of Murray's cheese. No matter how you shop, Baker's has all the freshest ingredients to embrace all your holiday traditions. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Hi, this is Lori Johnson with Hancock Whitney Bank, and you're listening to Local Leaders, the podcast. Visit localleadersthepodcast.com for previous episodes or for information on appearing on the show.
Most of you who have traveled in and around Denham Springs in the past 5 years may have noticed something. Several residential developments in the area bearing the name Alvarez Construction. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with Alvarez Construction, you are in for an eye-opening episode today. It's just a few miles down the road in Baton Rouge. This family-owned home building company was started by Jairo Alverez, an absolute legend in the home construction business in 1991. Since that time, the Alvarez family has risen while seeing huge success building what is, in my opinion, the highest quality production homes you can find anywhere in the country. That is really only a small part of who the Alvarez family is. In a time in which accumulation of wealth and tangible items dominate the actions of many, both business owners and large public companies, the Alvarez family continues to give as much, if not more, than they take from the community. For over 25 years, Alvarez Construction has built this area's St. Jude Dream Home, and this year will mark the 13th year of the Wheels to Succeed, No Such Thing as Impossible bike ride, founded by Jairo Alverez in 2008. Today, I have the honor of sitting down with Alvarez Construction's Chief Operating Officer, Sebastian, to discuss this amazing nonprofit and a whole lot more. So welcome to Local Leaders.
It's an honor to be here. What an introduction.
Yeah. I almost ran out of breath 5 times.
I think I almost teared up a little bit.
I really appreciate you coming on the show today. I'm excited to discuss the nonprofit that you are heavily involved in. The Wheels to Succeed, No Such Thing as Impossible bike ride, which we simply cannot discuss without providing a heavy emphasis on your father.
That's right. That's right.
Jairo Alverez, as I said, founded the bike ride in 2008. So obviously everything kind of starts with him, right?
Yep. All his little seeds.
Yes. So give us a little history on your dad's love of biking and how it eventually led to his involvement in this nonprofit.
Well, so cycling is probably one of the top sports in South America, after soccer, football.
Yeah.
And so Dad was raised in a little potato farm in Sunsun, Colombia, in the mountains. And they had a bike ride every year for the kids to climb up a mountain and see who's going to win. And Dad always did that every year, and he would always win. So Dad started cycling very young and then kept it through his whole career, even whenever he became a top executive in Colombia. He rode part of this Classic of Executives, which is like a bike race for executives in business. Yeah. And so he would ride that as well. So cycling's always been kind of part of our family. Awesome. And, he has had just an unbelievable life. He wrote a book on his life. Yeah, I mean, you've had a great life when you write a book on it, but he was member of the elite presidential guard, right, in Colombia, and actually exposed a coup that saved the Colombian president's life. That is true.
That's unbelievable. He won a gold medal in the Senior Olympics.
Yep, many. Man, he had a wall full of them. Yeah, I mean, it took his office wall was all full of his senior Olympic medals.
Unbelievable. You know, he authored a best-selling book entitled No Such Thing as Impossible, From Adversity to Triumph. Yeah. And numerous awards for his, how do you say this?
Philanthropy.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, that. Numerous awards. I mean, he was known for that.
Yeah, Dad always gave back, always set that example.
What a man.
Yep.
Right. So the Wheels to Succeed program really just celebrates the life of Jairo.
Yeah, actually, it actually started for his birthdays. So Dad always wanted to do a birthday ride to celebrate his birthday. So every year, I don't know what year, whenever he was 65, we'd do 65 miles. And the next year we'd do 66 miles and then 67 miles. And his birthday was January 14th, so it was really cold weather. And we would all suit up and do this crazy bike ride with Dad in the freezing temperatures. And then, Dad passed away at 75, so we left the route at 75 miles. So it started by Dad getting together with some local people from McMain's, and he just said, "Hey, we're going to do Ashley Leach," and he told her, "Hey, I want to have a bike ride this year. You know, we're taking off. People are coming to my birthday ride, but I'm going to make everybody buy into it, and all those proceeds we're going to send it to the Wheels to Succeed program at McMain's," and that's how it started.
Wow, and I didn't read that part of it. Yeah. That's really interesting. So. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? Well, you kind of like bikes, too.
Yeah, I love them. A little bit.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I've actually seen some of the bikes you've rebuilt. You rebuilt your dad's?
Yeah, well, so I rebuilt a 1977 Colnago Super, which it was inspired by an Italian bike my dad bought in the olden days. European racers from Europe would come compete in Colombia for the Tour of Colombia. Yeah. And so you'd have French riders, Italian riders, and they'd bring their fancy Italian bikes to Colombia, and then they wouldn't want to ship them back, so they would sell them off. So my dad bought a 1977 Colnago Super, and he had that over the years. And of course, bikes kind of wear and tear, and we actually gifted that bike to someone else. But I wanted to build a bike that paid homage to my dad's 1977 Colnago Super. So I did a historical replica of a 1977 Italian race bike.
And it's beautiful.
It's cool. Yeah.
I've actually
you helped me
that.
with it.
Yes.
You helped me with it with the paint selection.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is an amazing bike, and Sebastian actually let me touch it, which is crazy. Right. But I'll tell you, it's interesting. It's light as a feather.
Yeah, it is.
Pick it up with one finger.
If you were racing a professional bike in 1977, that's the bike you'd be on or want to be on.
Oh, that is so. Yeah, that is so awesome. BJ Pawn and Gun in Denham Springs wants to buy your unwanted gold jewelry, gold coins, and gold bullion. With 30 years of experience operating in the Livingston Parish area, BJ Pawn wants to be your source when selling your gold. So stop by BJ Pawn today for a no-obligation offer. BJ Pawn, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. So love of cycling was obviously passed down to you. What a fantastic thing that you then, took over his nonprofit and really got behind it full force. Yeah. That was
so Dad. Whenever Dad got sick with cancer, after he passed, McMain's knew that Dad was a significant player in the Will Succeed program and helping raise funds with that bike ride. So immediately, McMain's contacted me and they put me on their board as soon as possible. They're like, "Hey, we need you on the board. We need some of your dads still here." And so I've been on the board for McMain's probably for now 14, maybe almost 10 years. I've been on their board. Yeah. And been helping out with that nonprofit too. And so McMain's has a program within their they're building. It's called Wheels to Succeed, and that helps with the adaptive bikes for the children.
With regard to Wheels to Succeed, which you just mentioned, let's discuss kind of what the nonprofit is all about. Just give us a general overview of what they do.
Well, so Wheels to Succeed provides specially adaptive bikes for these children that need it, right? So not every family can afford the luxury of a bike.
Right.
And it's silly to sound that way, because these parents are trying to figure out how to teach their kids how to eat, teach their kids how to breathe, how to talk, how to get into bed, how to use the bathroom, because these are kids with physical, mental disabilities.
Yes.
So you don't want to just completely ignore their physical aspect too of exercise and having fun. So what this program does is it provides an adaptive bike, and we grant that bike to someone. So say there's a kid with cerebral palsy, we'll grant a bike to that family. And the neat thing is we keep tabs on that bike. So once that kid outgrows it, we get it back, we refurbish it, and we can give it to another family. So we have over 170 bikes now within the community that get rotated around. So that's, in essence, that's the mission of that nonprofit.
Amazing. And, Sebastian, it enhances their motor skills.
Yeah. Yep.
As we talked about the other day, the respiration, just being in shape in that respect. And also, let's give some credit to self-esteem.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, what happens us as individuals that we want to start working out?
Yeah.
Why? Because we're feeling in a funk. We want to get healthier. We want to feel better. Yeah. And these little children, they should have that too.
I agree.
So, and you can tell their smiles increase, their cognitive abilities, they're able to talk more, they're able to do more. They can ride a bike. So guess what? Maybe they can get out of bed a little bit easier. Maybe they can brush their teeth a little bit easier. Maybe they can, have more mental capacity. I
agree 100%. And it's all about kind of overcoming challenges for these kids.
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of leads me to something I'd like to quote from your dad's book that really fits this situation. But honestly, it could fit anybody's situation when it comes to overcoming challenges. So he said, "I do not see problems. I see life as a challenge full of opportunities. Yep. The low points and the losses are simply learning experiences and reasons to move forward."
Yep.
That's strong.
Yep, that dad would turn. If you went into my dad's office and said, "I have a problem," he'd turn you around like really quick.
Come on.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to say the word problem in the office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have a problem, you have an opportunity to succeed. Some people see it as a problem, but if you stay stuck on the problem, then you're stuck on it. So move past the problem.
Yeah.
And start fixing it.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
It's simple.
It is, but Sebastian, not everybody grasps that.
Right.
They focus, right? They dig deep into that problem, and they don't really look at it as an opportunity to get better.
That's true.
And so your dad, that was a great quote from him. Stephanie Berthelot and the crew at SR Enterprise can handle it all, from sheetrock to texture to paint. Give Stephanie a call at 504-432-9284. SR Enterprise, where they spread the paint and you spread the word. Now, your dad was really way ahead of his time on personal accountability too, so. Right? One of my favorite podcasters is Jocko Willenick.
Yep.
He wrote a book called Extreme Ownership.
Right.
But your dad was really practicing those principles way before Jocko, man.
Yeah. I mean, Dad was always inspired by, the personal talk speakers of his time too. I mean, he was big into Nightingale, Covenant, all those programs. Dad, as far as self-help, I mean, I think those are the types of things that really got him through the tough times that he had. Looking for other mentors that could help him through challenges. So even though he was super ahead of his time, but he also paid attention to who was teaching the correct things around him too.
Read his book, people. It's just unbelievable. I've read it, And I don't care who you are, you learn some valuable lessons in that book. We talked about earlier these bikes. These are adaptive bikes.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a cost. What is the cost?
So typically, a bike can cost anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000. I mean, depending on the physical disability. I think last year was the first time I ever saw a bike that was made adapted for conjoined twins.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrap your mind around that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
Yeah. So some of these kids can't pedal a bike with their legs, so we figure out adaptive pedaling with the hands.
Yeah.
And then also the bikes have a brake, so the parents can also brake and steer the bike. So it's adaptive for the parent to have full control and for the kid to enjoy himself too.
That's fantastic. And, unfortunately, the bikes aren't cheap. And so that's another great thing about this nonprofit and why you love and I love and we want to really shed a light on it is we want the help of everybody to, like Sebastian said, all of these kids deserve to have a bike and deserve to go out there and challenge themselves like all of us like to do. You're a biker. You're a cycling guy. Let me ask you this: do you like street cycling or do you like off-road?
So I like all aspects of cycling, but lately I've been doing a lot of what they call gravel cycling.
Yeah.
So basically getting off the road a little bit, getting back into gravel roads where cycling actually really started.
Yeah.
If you think about it, so it's not a new thing. But yeah, so I enjoy all disciplines, but gravel cycling lately has been one of my fun highlights lately. Yeah.
Do you compete?
I compete. So I haven't competed because of COVID. My last race kind of got canceled. But before that, I went to Emporia, Kansas, and did a race called the Dirty Kanza.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And it was 100 miles of Flintstone gravel. And I have a video on it, actually, that I did. I kind of documented the whole process. So it was something, it was a goal that I worked towards probably for about a year.
Yeah.
And I had some mechanical issues, so I finished it in about 10 hours.
Oh, wow.
But my moving time was like under 7 hours, so I would have been top 25 in my age category, right? So it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. Was it as challenging as you thought, or more or less?
It was more as a learning curve, because with gravel cycling, it's a little bit different. You're self-supported. Road cycling, whenever you do a race in road cycling, you have support, like a support vehicle with extra tires, or people are giving you, your nutrition and everything. But with gravel cycling, you're on your own. So you have to bring your own nutrition, your own tools, your own patch kits, and be prepared for the worst. Literally, you sign up for these races, they say no one is coming to help you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
that's amazing. Yeah. And a great way to challenge yourself.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I love that challenge.
Yeah. Hey, it's Jim Chapman reminding you that if you have not heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. 1, it's free. 2, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. 3, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's really everything you need to make a podcast in only one place. It makes it easy, folks. So do me a favor, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Yeah, so we talked about earlier the amount of bikes that Wheels to Succeed has donated since its inception. It was, I actually had the number 177.
77, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I lost count at 170, so now I'm just going by 10. So once we get to 180, I can start using the 180 number. Well, it'll be this year too that we'll hit 180. We're raised up to $47,000. I broke all my records.
That's amazing.
I broke all my records. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful thing. In fact, the Wheels to Succeed program has done a lot of great things for kids. Over $500,000 in total raised in that program from my research, and this is done exclusively through donations and sponsorships, right?
Yeah, so I'm lucky to have a huge vendor base through my construction company. Like Farrell Calhoun has helped every year, and other companies. So I reach out to all the vendors that we partner with, and whenever we onboard a new trade partner, it's, hey, it's Alvarez Construction, but it's also Will Succeed, and it's also St. Jude.
Yes.
So, we kind of partner with them, and our trade partners have been so generous. I get $250 donations or $5,000 sponsorships. It's just amazing. So the thank you to them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, William Waldrop of TWFG Insurance in Denham Springs can service all of your insurance needs. Offering auto, life, health, and commercial insurance, William Waldrop of TWFG Insurance is a proud supporter of Local Leaders, the podcast. How proud are you of all these Baton Rouge? You just said, you're hitting a record here, and how proud are you of all these businesses kind of banding together and saying, hey, we're going to support them?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to know that as a company, through Alvarez Construction, everybody knows that we help the community, but our focus is not only the community, but the kids. So we focus on kids' charities. We help on other avenues for sure. But I think that everybody just enjoys that aspect. With St. Jude, we're helping the kids, cure of cancer, and with cycling, we're bringing, health back into the community and making these families happy. So it just, I am proud. I'm proud of all the trade partners. I'm proud of everybody that allows me to help them participate in things that's meaningful for them as well.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link a sponsorship package to the bottom of this video.
Awesome.
And that way people that are watching it, and if you're listening to it, just go search for the video. But people that are watching it can just go and click.
Yeah, actually, even if you just go to No Such Thing as Impossible Bike Ride, it'll pull up. But of course, come to the podcast and click on that link.
Yeah. I love it. Last year's event, the bike ride, was unfortunately canceled due to COVID, right? So while that was disappointing, I'm sure, on the flip side of that, how pumped are you about being able to do it this year?
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's like we're all kind of back to normal. We're going to have it at Point Marie again. So 2 years ago, we had it at Point Marie for the first time. Super success. I was happy to bring the bike ride back to Baton Rouge because we were having it in St. Francisville historically, but I felt that due to certain events and just the location aspect of it, it felt like we were just kind of bringing the bike ride back home. So we're able to have it in Point Marie, which the guys at Point Marie, they've been super generous with us as well. Yeah,
beautiful area over there, and they hold concerts there. They do all kinds of things. So Point Marie, I'm sure everybody's familiar with, and so that's where they're holding it. Now, let me get to the other side of this nonprofit, and that is the receiving side. So, Sebastian, let's say someone's listening to this and they have a need for an adaptive bike. What are the steps they would take at that?
So you come to the event.
Yeah.
Immediately. The nice thing about the Will Succeed event, it is a kind of a qualifier. So we will have the physical therapists out there qualifying children and seeing what the adapted need is. And then we basically get them on a waiting list. And that's it. So I think you have to attend 2 events and then register with McMain's and put them on the list, and we'll get them a bike. It's really that simple.
Fantastic. Yeah, that does make it easy. And it, as we said, it's at Point Marie, which is 14200 River Road.
Yep.
And it's on Sunday, May 16th.
That's it.
So convenient day, convenient place. So look for that, whether you want to support it or whether you are in need of.
Yeah. Well, and I want to mention something too, Jim, that you don't have to ride a bike to come to the event. We have a 1 mile, 10 mile, 45 mile, and 75 mile route. Yeah. But just come enjoy the music, enjoy the good weather, the food, and try to connect with some of the kids from McMain's. So no bike needed. Just come and have some fun.
There you go. And I'm assuming you're going to do the 75 mile.
Actually, my wife and I are building a house right now, so my fitness is not where it needs to be. So I'm going to probably do the 45 mile.
There you go. There you go. He's going to finish first. So.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. So as Sebastian said, there's a 75, a 40, a 10, and there's also at 11 o'clock a kids fun bike ride at Point Marie. So check that out if you have some kids.
And bring helmets for sure.
Bring helmets. Good point. Yeah. We want everybody to be safe, of course. Is registration still open?
You can register now or just show up.
There you go. And I'll link that also to this video.
Very generous.
People can just click there. You're welcome. Let me ask you something personally. And, how proud, Sebastian, does it make you to continue your father's legacy of ensuring every children knows the joy of riding a bike, which was his exact word? Yeah, well,
it's an interesting question, Jim. So I'm very proud to keep, what they say, that dad's torch in that. But the neat thing is as we're all evolving, it's like now we're kind of taking our own ownership of it and even growing it even more.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's the neat part about it too. So it's great that dad has that legacy there for us, that foundation and that easy avenue to continue to help. So I am proud, very, very proud. And proud that we're also now at this point making it our own and growing it just like dad would want us to.
I agree 100% on that. And it kind of leads me to my second quote of your father on this episode that I'd like to mention. He said, "It's not the material things that you leave, it's the footprints that you leave on humanity." So I'd say you are leaving quite a footprint.
Yeah, that's probably one of my dad's favorite quotes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a beautiful quote.
He said it a lot and more towards the end of his life. And I think that as he started going through his career and building the business and starting to help people more towards the end of his life, he felt that more and more. So I'm gifted that I can do that so early, and not wait, because dad financially couldn't help that much at the beginning because he was still building a business.
Great point.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. And I'll tell you a quick little story on my experience with that, and when you're looking for leaders, it's hard to look past the Alvarez family.
Right.
And I'll tell you my belief on leaders. When I was young, and we've known each other a while.
Wow, yeah.
I'm in the sales business, so it was always important to be first, right? And it still is. To this day, of course, I'm competitive and I want to be first, right? But besides all of that, I joined a couple of years ago a Leadership Livingston program that we do through the Chamber of Commerce here, and every chamber has this leadership program. And I'm going into it and I'm like, I'm going to learn more lessons on how to be a leader and be first, and let me tell you, it was nothing about that. You know what it is about? It's about giving back. And it clicked to me that leadership really isn't about where you finish. It's about how much you give back to your community. I'd be hard pressed to find any true leader, that doesn't do as much for his community as he does for his business.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, you have to all aspects, right? So you have to give to your community, and then you have to give to your employees. You got to give back. I mean, you're right. Being a leader is not a selfish type of endeavor, for sure.
Correct. And it took me over 40 years to learn that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did, and it's a lot of the reason I do this show. I make sure I spotlight nonprofits a lot because that's my way of giving back, right? Now, typically at this point, we jump into a bunch of fun facts on whoever I'm talking to, but I thought it best to provide an address that your dad made to the supporters of Wheels to Succeed. He wrote shortly before his passing.
Yep. Well, yeah. So it was a letter. It was the first bike ride that dad was not able to attend because of his chemo treatments.
Yeah. And it was strong.
He wrote a letter, and then every time before every ride, we read the letter.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd like to read it with your permission.
Absolutely.
I'd like to read it to
a beautiful letter.
The listeners and the viewers of my podcast. And this is strong, folks.
Strong.
So it's, my dear friend, I want to thank you for supporting and coming in to share and realize the dream of bringing the joy and happiness of bike riding that we all feel. Children's Developmental Center and its Wheels to Succeed program. I reassure you that I'm spiritually with you all during this moment. You are there, and I am there with you with every stroke of the pedals. In our lifetime, we have moments which we must take into account what we are leaving on this earth. In these moments, we learn what truly matters, and we learn what genuine happiness comes from. Not counting the material possessions we have acquired, but from evaluating what we have done for humanity. That's a big point. What counts is the tears that we dried, the pain that we soothed for hunger, the hunger that we sated, the joy, love, and compassion we have given, the examples we set, the people young and old we have helped. All of these realizations are eternal. The rust fades away and have no value in comparison. But the smiles and joy you see in the children of McMains today, the smiles and joy you have helped create, and the happiness and gratitude of their parents will last in our hearts and minds forever. That pretty much says it all.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
could you imagine the weight on my dad's mind starting chemo treatment and not being able to be there and saying these words? I mean, it was almost like writing a letter that he was already like on his exit. I mean, imagine that.
Yeah.
You know, it's bizarre. Who does that?
Your dad.
Right. I mean, it's
the man that could do anything.
Example. It's
Sebastian.
an example. Yeah, it's an example. I mean, it touches me every time.
Yeah, me too. And the first time I heard that, you were reading the words, and it was on a YouTube video where you kind of read that for in place of him. And it was amazing how many times I had to pause that and freehand it. Yeah. But I was really struck by that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We needed a video because it has become tradition now to read that letter before sending off all the riders.
Yeah.
Because that letter was to Dad, to all his friends, that like, hey, I'm sorry I can't be there with you.
Yeah.
Like I'm dealing with something right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a man. Now, everyone, this is what I want you to do. I want you to click on all those links that I just mentioned, and let's show our support for this amazing nonprofit. Really get out there and Livingston Parish, wake up, folks. Let's support them. These are our neighbors, Baton Rouge. Yeah. And speaking of that, I mean, you do a lot for this community here locally.
Yeah, we
with
do.
Alvarez Construction.
Part of our company mission is to help the nation's economy and grow communities. So we're here in this community making an impact on the local economy.
You sure are, and you've got a subdivision, South Creek. Right?
We have three subdivisions.
Yes,
yeah. We
Sanctuary,
have Sanctuary, Cellar Gardens, and South Creek just kicked off right across from Greystone.
Yeah. So South Creek's going to be a nice one, and it's right across from the flagship community here in Denham Springs, and you're just making good things happen all over Livingston Parish.
We hope so.
And us LP folks really appreciate that.
Well, LP has been very good to us as well.
Yeah.
So let's be honest.
Y'all make a great great house. There's no doubt about it. As a matter of fact, at some point, I'd love to have you on again, and I want to discuss Alvarez Construction,
yeah, absolutely.
Your company, and really dive deep into that and get your thoughts on all kinds of things when it comes to home building.
Sure.
So you know a little bit about that.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
The hard way.
Yeah.
The hard way.
Yeah. Did you have fun today, my friend?
I did. Thank you so much.
I'm going to link everything you need to know, as I said, the information and all of that in the comments. So look for that. I do want to thank everyone out there for viewing and listening to Local Leaders, of podcast. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share Local Leaders on all social media platforms as we strive to shine a spotlight on all our businesses and all our nonprofits in the area.
Beautiful. Just
like McMains. Thank you to all our sponsors, including Premier Credit Corporation, Trisha Johnston Realtor, Big Mike's Bar and Grill, Guillot's Plumbing, Alyssa Verrett, Interiors and Custom Workroom, Buddy's Barbecue, Sporting Center, Black Sheep Creative, SR Enterprise Painting, and William Waldrop of TWFG Insurance. I couldn't do any of this, Sebastian, without those folks. They really helped me out. Until next time, I am Jim Chapman, reminding you, love your community, support local business, and keep leading. Thank you.
The holidays start here at Baker's with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. You could do a classic herb-roasted turkey or spice it up and make turkey tacos. Serve up a go-to shrimp cocktail or use Simple Truth wild-caught shrimp for your first Cajun risotto. Make creamy mac and cheese or a spinach artichoke fondue from our selection of Murray's cheese. No matter how you shop, Baker's has all the freshest ingredients to embrace all your holiday traditions. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
As the chief buffet officer here at Pizza Ranch, I get all kinds of questions from guests. Here's one from Emma.
So, what's your favorite number?
That's easy, Emma. My favorite number is 14,839,552. With Buffet Your Way, you can order any pizza you want and we'll bake it and make sure you get the first slice. And with all our crusts, sauces, and toppings, we can make you 14,839,552 different pizzas. Just not, all at the same time.
Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.